You're muted. You're muted.
Fuck, man. What, did you think you'd be watching the Jew and the waifu show? Nah, this is Schitzophrenia Academia, everyone. And welcome back to your episode today. We got a banger for you.
That's right, everybody. We got something. If you thought Coomer Instagram whores on van life bullshit was a good hook for you, we got something a little bit more interesting.
Wrong saloon, partner. We're here for the deep dives.
Exactly.
Now, man, I've been hearing about this Gabby chick left and right. We briefly touched on it on our exclusive show, which, by the way, everyone can, at any point in time, go watch this show and all our other shows on our network, Jimmy's show as well, on That's What Happened.tv, shameless plug, and back to the show. But I've been hearing this in the news. I've been hearing this on social media. And the one thing I notice is it's always a bunch of like MAGA thumpers going really hard on the topic. So I just immediately tuned out. I didn't know if she was kidnapped, raped, dead, alive, missing, until you started showing interest in the topic, which made me believe something else is going on.
Yeah, that's the subject of our deep dive today, and I think we're just kind of getting straight into it, because this is something that just about everybody's kind of had some sort of something to say about it. It seems like every truther, every media outlet, every news article, every magazine has something to say and has some coverage about this. Everyone with a camera, or access to a blog or some sort of faux journalism is talking about this case. But we all know that people go missing all the time. Hundreds, thousands of people go missing every day. Why
especially
is this?
In the woods.
Especially in the woods, especially in these nature reserves and shit. And so by now we know that this girl, whatever this story that they're going with, is she's turned up dead now. They've officially said that she's okay now, and they've concluded that it was homicide. They concluded that it was, or at least this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying is going on. The story is one of those things that just don't really seem to make a whole lot of sense, and that's why it's kind of jumbled. Just even trying to kind of recap it just seems like it's one of those stories that we specially like to go into those deep dives on here, because it's all those things where it's like your average normie, if they try to retell this, it'll be filled with holes. It'll be filled with just kind of a passing off of whatever the hell this the
NPC
main narrative is being. Yeah, the NPC talking points, whatever the main narrative being fed to them basically is, and then basically just pass it up, whatever, who cares. And you have some people going off about the missing white girl syndrome, where everyone's paying attention just because she's an attractive white girl. But we all know that when they have stories like this, where they're highly televised, some manhunt or some missing person, there's always seems to be some sort of agenda behind it. And I guess that's what we're here for. We're going to try to figure it out. Live investigation tonight, everybody. See if we can actually crack this weirdo case, if somebody hasn't already done it already.
Try to get to the bottom of it, decode all the things that they were hoping we wouldn't see, and maybe there's some communication within other actors going on here. But you brought up they usually try to have one of these events or showings or stages to push forward one thing or the other, and we kind of saw that with Columbine, and there was that other thing that happened right after. What was her name? The bitch who tried to be Columbine part 2 or something.
Oh, like the Soul Pie thing. So yeah, the girl in Colorado a couple years ago, I believe that was in 2018. So shameless self promotion on my part. My video, my documentary that goes into the Notre Dame Cathedral burning and the string of church fires that was going on across Europe and specifically in France. That I believe to summarize that video. Basically, it tied into a really weird story about a girl who went from Florida to Colorado who was obsessed with the Columbine shooting and wanted to essentially reenact it. That was the story that the mainstream media gave to explain that a 17-year-old high school student was able to book a flight by herself to Colorado, buy a shotgun, and tried to go on some sort of killing spree or whatever, which resulted
Bought
in
a shotgun at 17 at that.
At 17 at that, and while crossing state lines. Which, if anybody who's if you're not a no guns, then you know for sure that's just impossible. You can't do that.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works. So stories like this where there are holes all throughout it where shit don't make sense, and if you have a very basic understanding of the law or how this stuff ends up getting media coverage, you know something's fishy. And like with the Sol Pai thing, it went into her supposed personal life where did the accusations of her being obsessed with Columbine come from? Well, supposedly it came from her. The media kept saying it was her blog that had all these morbid imagery, and like she was obsessed with death. I remember them saying, like, really emphasizing this notion that she was obsessed with death. And if you went to her website, it wasn't a blog, it was actually a website, like an actual owned domain by this 17-year-old, I guess. Not that that's unheard of or anything, but like, come on now.
Folks could help her out.
Yeah, folks could help her out or something, but like, come on.
She's not with the getting the gun part. But.
Right. But this is something where it's like, the girl would have an Instagram, a blogspot, a Twitter, something like that, where they can, or a Tumblr.
Be a hell of a writer otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And going a little bit further, her father was like the only thing you could find was that her father was a prominent musician in the Miami scene, so she was from Miami. And I believe her mother refused to be interviewed by anybody. So no word from the mother. Father did one interview that was behind a door. He was being interviewed through his apartment door, never seen, and just, I mean, like, how suspicious is that? Go for a little bit further, her website that was supposedly full of this morbid content that was all about her being obsessed with the Columbine shooters. There's nothing to be found on the site about Columbine. She seemed to really, really dig on 90s alt music. She really loved some Smashing Pumpkins. She really loved the Deftones and reposted their music all the time. But she didn't seem to. There was no Columbine anything on her website. There wasn't anything to suggest that she was even mentally unstable. There was a lot of stuff about like self-help and self-healing shit that was like Wiccan, like holistic, like medicines and stuff like that she seemed to be into. Lots of occult stuff, but real like base, like, you know, like it would make sense for a 17-year-old. Yeah, like a 17-year-old lesbian would be into this kind of magic kind of shit. But fast forward to her supposedly going to Colorado to commit this reenactment of this massacre. Nothing ever happens. She's videoed, or she on security footage, leaving the Colorado airport, or the Denver airport. So we all know the suspicious shit that goes on there. That's a whole video on its own. All the weird murals and shit that are in the Denver airport. She's seen leaving the airport and then never seen again. She gets in a taxi and then drives off. Supposedly, the police say that was when she immediately went to a gun store, bought the shotgun, and then 2 days later was when she was found in the her body was found in the woods outside of Boulder, Colorado. And that morning, she was. There were reports sent into the local news saying that there was a woman running naked with a shotgun through the woods. And keep in mind, this is in the dead of winter too. So this is just, you know, there's
So in
something.
order to believe that story, you have to believe that a 17-year-old booked a flight to Colorado, landed, and for whatever reason, once she landed, performed a series of virtually impossible events, and then ran around naked in the winter and died.
Mhm. And from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So she supposedly killed herself with the shotgun, only harmed herself. But this story but aside from being full of esoteric
Shit.
symbolism, where it went from like the really schizo shit, which is what we specialize in here, her namesake being Sol Pai, that shares that shared a name of one of the churches that was burned in France just before the Notre Dame fire. Her
Shit.
website that was full of supposedly all that Columbine shit that really wasn't. That was very obviously a federally run. Like, this was made by somebody who knows how to do this shit. This wasn't made by a 17-year-old girl. This was probably put up and funded by a Fed so that they could leave it up for a little while to have some sort of believable story. If you go to the Wayback Machine, the archive, the Google archive, and you look at when that website was created, it was created the day the Sol Pai church in France was burned. The very day it was that church got burned was the day that her website was created. 2 months later, they used that story to say that, oh shit, this crazy lady who was putting all this questionable shit on her website about possibly committing a crime with a gun. They used this to pass the red flag gun law in Colorado, like very, very shortly after, using her as the example that we need to have the ability to crack down on people in case they say something that could be inciting violence or what's the word? Denotes some sort of mental illness. That was a big thing that they were pushing, is that people who have fringe ideals, maybe fringe outlooks on stuff, someone that they can say is a loose cannon, you're not going to allow to have any guns. But then they can just say that about anybody. It's like kind of like what we've been talking about in our show with Jimmy, another shameless self promotion here, where we talked about the John Westbrook story, where this seems to be a story of symbolism.
Here's a guy there seems to be some kind of communication with either a false story or a made-up story or a story that's trying to be bait to get the attention of someone else.
Yeah, it seems
But
to be.
But also has multi-states involved that could also be used for, like, hey, we're trying to catch someone and they're going through all these states.
Yeah, that's another one, is that and these are the same states kind of over and over. If you guys have watched the John Westbrook stuff, our coverage of the John Westbrook story, it goes from Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Colorado, Wyoming, Washington, Arizona, New Mexico, and Canada, all over the fucking place. The Sol Pai story took place across Florida, Alabama, and Colorado, and same thing with this new case that we've got here, the Gabby Petito case. That's another one where we've got Florida, Colorado, Wyoming, all across, basically just completely spread out across the United States.
How to get to Canada, how to cross country, or how to get to fucking China or something.
Exactly. And we have her body being found in the Wyoming nature preserve or whatever, or whatever you want to call it. And meanwhile, they were from Florida. So you've got this big stretch all the way across the country to kind of encapsulate their search. So, that's the speculation where we don't really know, because we haven't really looked into this case that much, versus what we're trying to find out. So we have a number of our close anonymous sources that have been hard at work trying to crack this case. We're going to see if we can kind of look through and figure some stuff out, kind of in hindsight, now that this story isn't. I mean, now that they've said, like, oh, she's dead, we found him, and we're going to be looking for her fiance, Brian Laundrie. He's still on the run. Nobody knows where the fuck he is. the whole deal with his parents has been really, really bizarre. That's his own
Gabby's
fucking
parents
weird
too.
thing. Gabby's parents too is really weird. Gabby's father took it as an opportunity to just say, if you want to help find Gabby, get the vaccine. Because you guys make
Even
this
their
anymore.
fucking names, even their names are red flags. Like, it's like if you need to have communications, just looking at their names is enough to be like something's going on.
Yeah, that's an immediate red flag that jumped out at me when I was first looking into this story. Gabby Petito, if you want to break that down like the true schizos that we are, well, Petito, you can break that down
Small.
to small, little, whatever. Okay, Gabby, Gabby, short for Gabriel, or Gabriella. You can go to the really esoteric spiritual shit where we're talking about Archangel Gabriel, but more to the point, Gabby, Gab, talk, small talk. That seems very clear that that's what's being said here, and I think somebody. Then you have Brian, her husband or her fiance, Brian Laundrie. What an odd last name to have. Well, we can kind of break that down a little bit more. Laundry is kind of like dirty laundry. You're almost like dirty laundry. And then if you look at
washing,
yeah, washing dirty laundry. Oh wait, brainwashing. Wait a minute. Are we getting somewhere with this? Is this going anywhere, or is this just random speculation?
Well, what do we know about their families? There was, see if you can pull up the GoFundMe thing, but there was also, just like we saw with the fucking Columbine shooter and all the other shooters, what's the one picture that they show right off the bat?
Oh, their rooms and shit?
Yep, their bedrooms.
They show off their bedrooms. So we've got, yeah, there you go. So this was supposedly the Brian Laundrie's bedroom that was, I guess, left unfucking touched by his mom or whatever.
It looks like some kid just went off to college, and then the mom just took care of the room. That's the only time a room looks like that.
Yeah, you got a weird folded table on the side that doesn't look like it belongs there. They've just kind of thrown everything together. The floor is completely clean. That bed doesn't look like it belongs to a grown man. And then we have over to the right. I think if some of you guys are a little bit more familiar with Globo Homo artistry and people who are really, really good friends with like the Alefantises and the Rothschilds and all your Soroses, that disturbing poster right there is actually a immediately recognizable work from Cleon Peterson. And Cleon Peterson is the French artist who has the large mural that was recently put at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower, which is I believe I actually have that on here somewhere. Yeah, you can go ahead and put my screen up if you want. Yeah, there we go. So we've got Cleon Peterson's work, immediately recognizable as those same figures, that same kind of crude art style he's got going on. Now that's the mural that's at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. This should raise some questions for anybody who I think is a little bit confused as to what exactly their agenda is. It's very clear here. If you can't see it, these are blacks and whites intermingling, but specifically black men and white women. And this is in France.
A hexagonal shape, too.
And in a hexagonal shape underneath the Eiffel Tower, the big giant fucking phallus in the middle of Paris.
So got a black dude killing a white woman.
And this is other art by this Cleo Peterson guy. He seems
embracing
to have
the woman.
a extreme fetish for white genocide, for lack of a better term. Every single one of his paintings is featuring some sort of just absolutely morbid and disgusting artwork of just white genocide and exactly what's going on in Europe right now. This African takeover. They're just putting it right out in front of everybody. So why the fuck?
Never noticed the
with
triangle
this-
in the middle either.
Yeah, it's a hexagon. It's a triangle. It's the fucking Star of David. Everybody says, "Oy vey, everyone." But we can, knowing what's going on in Europe, the absolute invasion of illegal immigrants from Africa, just completely coming in and decimating these European cities. That's not this. That proves that that's not an accident. This isn't just some coincidence that they just want to help all these poor refugees. There's an agenda here. So why the fuck is that in Brian Laundrie's room? Why would a 23-year-old hippie college student who's just starting his van life blog on YouTube, why the fuck would he have that painting? It's not a particularly common thing, I would think, to just have in your what looks like your fake little fucking dorm room here.
Unless he's another MK Ultra victim.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we're getting at with the idea of brainwashing. You got MK Ultra brainwashing, and actually I've got stuff on my screen. If you want to throw that up, there we go. So we've got. This was one of the murals that Gabby painted and used in her Instagram shit. Monarch butterfly right behind you, pretty immediately recognizable. But this thread right here kind of goes into, I think, while you were doing that, I was looking through the archive to see if there was anything people kind of talking about what kind of stuff that we get into, because surely someone's covered this, someone's seen it. So I just kind of want to go through a couple of these threads that really seem to see through the matrix in these stories. So Gabby Petito was a ritual sacrifice for the New World Order, this Anon claims. Investigation started on 9/11 after a 911 call. She was reported missing on 9/11. Her body was found 9 days later, with an autopsy performed 11 days after she was reported missing. Shares dates with 9/11, obviously. First plane hits the tower at 8:46 a.m. 8:46 is a hidden in plain sight cloak of 666, as 8 plus 4 plus 6 equals 18. If you divide 18 by 3 for the 3 placeholders, you end up with 666. George Floyd dies after a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Gabby Petito has an Instagram tag, Gabs Petito, with the gematria 684, no different than 846, 666 all around. Her YouTube channel is started on 11/28/2013, so November 28th, which all the numbers added up again. 18,666 once more, and that's also suspicious for her to have absolutely no activity other than one van life blog that has 5 million fucking views on it after almost 10 years. No other activity besides that. No community tab, no nothing.
Speaking of the van life video, real quick, in the video, like you said, over 5 million views. Put one video back in August. What do we see here? She's wearing a triangle necklace, a mountain necklace.
Mm-hmm. Three mountains too, so 3 triangles.
And let's see if we can get it perfect here. She also is wearing, not wearing.
Oh, there we go. Zion National Park sweater.
Yeah. Was that the middle one?
Is it right there? That sweater she's wearing.
Yep.
All afternoon yesterday.
Surprise, it rains every now and then. You're right, Zion National Park.
The 10 is just coming in on me.
Yes, woman, we understand. There you go. Zion National Park.
I've been sitting here like this for a while.
But then,
So, me and Brian just got up and got ready, made the bed in the tent.
right there, you could
Right
just see her
there.
tattoo of a triangle with a rose inside of it. So more and more symbolism.
More symbolism. Now you can pass that off as being benign symbolism, but once we start stacking these things over and over, you start knowing the occult symbolism of the rose, the Rosicrucians, the triangle. The triangle and the pyramid is used as essentially a symbol of mind control, showing that somebody is under mind control if they're
willingly wearing it.
Yes. Go ahead.
Didn't someone else have was forced to wear a triangle and they were like under mind control or something like that? There's a story of that.
Yeah, there's a good number of stuff like that. One of the most prominent ones that comes to mind is in the McMartin case, just because I'm working on it for my next real big documentary that I've got coming out. The McMartin case was lampooned in the media. If anybody remembers how harshly the children were just lambasted for, the accusation
speaking their truth.
Yeah, speaking their truth, but the accusations of wasting court time, because it ended up being one of the most expensive trials in American history. And one of the testimonies of one of the kids a number of the kids, was that Ray Buckey, the primary teacher or caregiver at the McMartin preschool, was a head wizard or whatever you want to call him, who was performing the ritual.
Grandmaster guy?
Yeah, grandmaster, if he's in the KKK, then he is the grand wizard. If whatever you want to call him, I would just say, Crowleyite, fucking sodomite piece of shit. During the ritual, kid raper, during the rituals, the children said that they were forced the children to wear a pyramid-shaped hat. Now that's confusing and stupid sounding to anybody, and that was even featured as one of the scenes in the movie with James Woods about the McMartin trial, where he put on this little wire coat hanger thing that was shaped like a pyramid, and the kid was freaking out because he thought that was it recognized it. He recognized it as this is what they were using against
it's a calling
him,
card.
but they pushed it into the jury as like, oh, you think this is scary or whatever? Like, look how fucking ridiculous these kids are. But if you go back through occultism, Aleister Crowley wears that shit. It's just, if you listen to the kids' descriptions, it's not as comical as they're saying, but they're kids. What else are you gonna get out of it? The triangle is used very commonly as a symbol of mind control and reprogramming. That's what the monarch butterfly is, and that's being put.
Reborn as another character.
Yeah, reborn as another character. And we can see that kind of even just in the if that's the most baseline kind of conspiracy, if you want to put here, is that this is a fake story. You have two actors becoming different characters. They're stripping their own personality and putting themselves into this situation where they can use this as whatever propaganda or whatever reason, whatever point that they want this story to get out there. But I think that we're getting a little bit closer with this Cleo Peterson thing, because that's not a mistake having that painting there. That's not a mistake having that painting there. So continuing on with this thread just a little bit, let's see, what are they talking about? Now this is some prime schizo shit. Gabby Petito, wake up, slave, wake up. Red pill, blue pill, you fucking Reddit soy boys are gonna go nuts. I think this person's just breaking down, kind of showing off a few things. Oh, this is basically just what he was saying in the thread itself.
More Zion stuff.
More Zion picture. More Zion.
The holding the heart.
Okay.
Tattoo.
Okay, there we go. And that was okay. So this must have been from the video, that video of them getting talked to by the police.
Mm-hmm.
So the fucking officer has a 666 tattoo. Come on, people. Come on.
Not to mention that her boyfriend totally looks kosher.
Looks very kosher. Looks very chosen. And so we have all these little things that are kind of adding up one by one to make it feel like, okay, and other people are pointing this out too. Other people have pointed out the painting, There's a Darth Vader helmet here. I don't think I noticed that last time.
You got the Darth Vader helmet, a gun, and a Batman poster in the upper right corner.
Yeah,
and a bunch
I'm
of
not sure
Watchmen
what
comics.
not sure what the
Besides.
Batman thing is, but that's interesting with the Watchmen thing. It looks like he has numerous issues or numerous copies of the same thing. 'Cause, I mean, Watchmen is just it's a graphic novel. Like I think in the 80s it was put out as like issues, but it's just a singular graphic novel. It wouldn't be you wouldn't have 5 copies of it for some reason. So I don't know what exactly is that saying. Maybe. So we know that another thing with Cleo Peterson. Let's go back to Cleo Peterson for a second, because there is something I would like to mention about him real quick. Now, aside from the fact that he's got all this, this is more of his artwork, black authority, mutilating white people. At least he's got a proper depiction here of blacks mutilating each other. But again, he seems to have this very extreme fetish for specifically black against white. This looks like a white woman being killed and maybe gently mutilated by these African gentlemen. He looks very kosher too. Kind of got a Damien Eccles look to him. I don't trust that motherfucker for a second. But I mean, every time I look at these, I'm just like, good Lord, what kind of deranged freak does something like this? Oh,
definitely trying to throw something out into the ether. Yeah,
definitely. So, but the thing I wanted to touch on with him is that he is a I don't know if I would say necessarily a close associate. We don't know their connection. At least I don't. I'm sure somebody could kind of come in and be like, oh yeah, there's a deeper connection here. But
he's known by others.
He's known by others, and we can look at this like, oh dear, that's a little suspicious. It's a little suspicious. You got some scales of justice here, skull and bones. Black power or something. I don't fucking know. But he seems to be a good friend of the Rothschilds, or at least the Rothschilds are admirers of his, because on Edmund de Rothschild's little sailboat or whatever he's got here, it's completely decked out in Cleon Peterson's artwork. That's just his shit. I don't know if I'd call
that a little sailboat. That's a big ass sailboat.
So that doesn't seem to be you don't just have a your entire
the Rothschilds
sailboat.
Usually don't take note of you unless they have more than one reason to.
Right. And here's his post. Cleon Peterson, I'm extremely proud to have the opportunity to work with Arian and Benjamin de Rothschild and the great what the fuck does that say? Gitana team.
Gitana team.
Oh,
so
Gitana
Arian
team.
and Benjamin
Okay.
Gitana team.
On this monumental project, the project curated by Tokyo's Gene. I don't know what the fuck all these goddamn French and shit names are. But regardless, this is him just being, yeah, look, I fucking work with the Rothschilds and shit. I'm working directly with the Rothschilds and their fucking globo homo shit, and I'm very, very proud to be part of it. And now, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that.
He looks normal.
Black eye. Black eye symbolism. We know that's a common theme over and over and over again. Black eye symbolism, Eye of Horus shit. There's some crazy conspiracies going into that, but yes, this person.
And for some reason, his art is in this kid's room.
Yeah, and for some reason, his art is in this supposedly 23-year-old's room, who is now on the run from the police. If we believe that story, that's the thing, is that if we believe exactly what's going on, but could we possibly make the case here that this isn't something that's directed at maybe it's not directed at a law, maybe it's not directed at the public, maybe it's directed at us to maybe
Those who can
confuse
see.
us, but it's directed at those who can see for sure. It's directed at those with eyes to see and ears to hear, right? That's what they always say. So
And they made it big enough for someone on the run to be able to pick up on it.
Exactly. So maybe is this message meant for Cleon Peterson?
Well,
with
here's what I see.
With the use of his painting.
I see his painting clearly there. I see earphones on a propped up table. Like they just found that table at a fucking garage sale and be like, okay, throw it into the fucking casting room. So earphones, conceivably meaning listen. You have a red pillow clearly on top of a white pillow, like not next to, not anywhere, it's just flat out on top. So you know you got the red symbolism once again, whether it be, and there was a rose on top of a triangle too, but you know, red scarf, you know, basically sending a warning. You have the Batman picture, and if you could find the Batman, if you could find his yearbook picture, that'd be great.
So pop up on my screen again real quick. So this one, I'm going to mention this one real quick. This is something else someone pointed out. This was the van found with one single lone flip-flop by the van itself. And if we're familiar with Isaac Cappy and what he said about Tom Hanks, remember his Hanks pictures of taking photographs on Instagram of lone shoes and gloves. That kind of gave way to this notion that the single glove or the single shoe is some sort of Freemasonic plant to show that this is an orchestrated story. I think they kind of do that with these names, with these like obviously fake names, with these obviously planted stories and shit, and like the locations that they use. All this stuff seems to kind of add up. Here's Brian Laundrie again. This is supposedly his high school picture. I think he's looking. This guy's pushing.
Looks a lot
college
older.
age here. This guy's
like the fucking movies where it's like you have American Pie, everyone's pretending to be fucking high schoolers, but in reality they're all like 31 or some shit.
Exactly. But we have the Batman shirt again. Now, I mean, obviously you can just talk this up as this is just some fucking retard dude bro who likes Batman a lot. But it's just interesting that this is that in two promotional pictures that they're trying to use of this individual, they just so happen to have Batman as a and Watchmen as a prominent theme here. And then we want to go to another picture. We got her holding a copy of Fight Club with him in the right parallel to it. What's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. What's her name? Small talk, brainwashing, all this shit. Kind of like, and you know, if you're killing someone named Small Talk, it kind of seems like you're sending a threat to somebody.
Don't go gabbing.
Don't go gabbing.
They killed Gabby. They killed Gabby.
They'll kill you. They'll fucking kill you.
So what I'm wondering is with the Batman, we know the story of Batman symbolizing vigilante justice. I'm not too familiar with Watchmen, so I don't know why there's so many books of Watchmen. I didn't think it was that big.
That's the thing, is that there isn't. There's only one copy, or there's only one graphic novel of Watchmen. It was a 12-issue run. The book is like that thick, so there's only one book. So she should only have one copy of that. The fact that they're pointing it out seems to make it pretty obvious that this was something that needs to be. This is a coded symbol for someone. Maybe he's being watched. That's why it's underneath the Cleon thing. Maybe they're watching him, and that's what this is all about. Maybe whoever this is for, I'm just guessing because of the use of that painting that might be who they're talking to. But the point or the plot of Watchmen may have something to do with it too, because it had, if anyone's familiar with Watchmen, the whole kind of story of it was the implementation of a false flag to unite the country and the world just before an impending nuclear civil war. The main character. I mean, it was nerd ass shit getting into, but it was basically the Star Wars thing, the Star Wars program that Reagan wanted to do. The notion of an alien invasion, bringing people together in the face of
That explains the Darth Vader shit.
Yeah, Star Wars. Oh my God, you're right.
Now you figured it out.
We figured it out.
This is why we're a team.
But now what's the Batman thing? Is it vigilante justice? Or are they saying that?
Go back to the Fight Club thing. I mean,
what did they do in
the most
Fight Club?
sense.
They blew up shit at the end of the movie. They blew up a bunch of buildings. Remember, someone's got to know the point of that. I think it's been forever since I've seen Fight Club.
I didn't see it, but that threw me off. I didn't know that part because that makes me feel like there's more false flaggy shit going on.
Yes.
I thought it was strictly just, all right, this painting dude is a weirdo and he's about to talk and he's like, and here's everything that's going on. Maybe he's trying to be on some Batman shit. I mean, the other thing that came to mind was like, okay, Anakin and Luke and Darth Vader and Batman lost his parents, so maybe they're going to whack a parent or something like that. But it felt like this dude is just going to... It's very evident that he's close to an upper brass of occultists, of puppet masters, and by doing this, they can say that, hey, they're watching you, and with the names alone, it's like, hey, don't gab. We're going to brainwash you to make sure you don't gab or whatever it is. Which don't.
Yeah. So is it like don't gab about an impending false flag? Don't gab about brainwashing. We've got a subject that's going to we have an MK Ultra subject that we're going to use in an upcoming false flag. Don't gab about it.
We need you to fucking,
or we need you to. Yeah, that's a good guess too. I think
come home butterfly.
The thing with that's a good one too. The thing with the Fight Club connection. I
they're on water too.
That's a good one too.
What is he? He's standing. So his artwork was on a ship, on a sailboat, and this dude is staying on a creek.
That could be something. You know,
that might be one step too far.
It might be, but at the same time, I mean, you have to take everything into account with these things. You got to take everything into account with these things.
We got our homie Modest Grower in the chat saying to get rid of credit debt. I said, what do you mean? He says that's why they blew up those buildings, to get rid of credit debt in Fight Club.
Then are we getting back to crypto? Are we getting back to the idea of
isn't that what that one motherfucker said, that the fucking other dude was like on the run and using crypto or something like that?
Yeah. So the John Westbrook story that we've talked about with on our other little thing with Jimmy the Lip, recently deceased.
Which you can watch our exclusive content and exclusive podcast on That's What Happened.tv very soon, in a week or so.
Yes. I mean, you can catch Jimmy again now that he's been booted off of YouTube. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for. I knew it had to be something about that. It was like they were trying to do something with a ball, like blowing up the buildings and stuff. But that could.
Well, now we're in the ether because Fight Club clearly means don't talk, and everything is like basically if we're reading their names and their names mean anything, they're telling them not to talk.
Yeah,
but. Now it's one step further in the schizo theory with the credit card shit.
With the credit card shit, this could be something because of everything we've seen so far with the pandemic and with the division that we're seeing. It seems to be pushing people more and more towards that Great Reset. We've covered it with the John Westbrook thing, that the World Economic Forum is behind a lot of the cryptocurrencies. Not only the push for people to use it, but the push against it as well, to make people fearful of it. I think to divide people further so that those who think that crypto's nonsense and not gonna do anything for them, they're gonna be left out when everything starts great resetting itself towards using that. So this could be, you could have gotten it dead on with the Fight Club connection, and that this is what the false flag is going to be. Maybe in order to stop an incoming civil war, like in Watchmen, they're going to abolish credit debt or something. I don't know.
That would be... All right. I mean, I guess I could kind of forgive the Jews for. Actually, what am I saying? No,
But all that would mean is that they're going to implement something else, something that they can
some
make money
distraction.
off of.
And switch everyone to crypto, and they can turn everything off.
Yeah, they can immediately turn off your shit. You're completely bound to everything. I mean, you are anyway. I mean, if you fucking
Unless you start like doing some farmer barter shit. But they're saying that the Brian guy left his wallet and phone at home.
Okay.
So they could be trying to like be like, hey, if you keep this shit up, if you don't like follow the script or whatever, if you blab one step too far, then we'll fucking seize your accounts or whatever the fuck. But I think the feds already got the guy.
It could have been. They say that he's just off, that they can't find him. One of the weirdest things was that this whole bullshit with his family, like they went to Wyoming to get his abandoned car, drove it all the way back to Florida before reporting him missing, and then told the police that he was likely staying in this the Wyoming nature reserve. And so
yeah,
I mean, that's like, what is that? Like thousands of acres large. They could be searching through that for months before they find, anything of him. And then Brian Laundrie, more likely his name's Brian Leibowitz, has fucking fled to Israel.
Judging by the looks of it, he'd fit right in there and never be seen again. I'm looking for the GoFundMe thing that we were looking at earlier. All I'm seeing is like fake ones saying, "Hey, help us find Gabby."
Yeah. So that was another thing that I
got
think
that
some
one?
of these. Yeah, I've got all this this shit set up. So aside from the like looking past like the main thing that a lot of these fuckers were pushing, this was like the main narrative that they were kind of the mainstream media is kind of going with. If you're not just hearing about how she's, poor girl went missing and all that, it's all this boo-hoo, fuck white people, pay attention to all
Everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else who goes missing or whatever. So there's
Which adds up
another
with
mild
that
anti-white thing here too, but we're going to go a little bit further into what you were
which that message lines up with the fucking Rothschild's friend's painting. So it's a good way to put his paintings over if you're a billionaire family who's trying to push an anti-European message.
Exactly. And so the GoFundMe thing that we stumbled upon just when we were trying to do like a little just like a catch up of exactly what this story is even about, one of the first things I came across was in connection to Gabby's media coverage. One of her most vocal supporters has been one of her supposedly her best friend. Her name is Rose, and we found that Rose had
like the fucking tattoo.
Yeah, just like the tattoo. So we found that Rose had a GoFundMe for her father. Help my dad, homeless with stage 4 cancer, no money. Look a little bit closer. We can see my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer right when COVID hit. He had to move back to England for care, but his doctor has been ignoring him. He's back in the States with nowhere to live. I'm just trying to get him enough money so that we can get him a van to sleep in or something because we can't afford a place and the medical bills. Anything helps. Thank you so much.
No. Time the fuck out. My dad has stage 4 cancer. Dad has stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, so literal ass cancer. You know what? He really needs a fucking van, not fucking chemo or anything. Let's get him a van.
A van, and a van that the same type of van that ended up being used in the Gabby Petito story. So the one where her flip flop was found next to, that's the same van they were trying to get. So that's just an interesting connection. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. I'm not gonna go crazy over that. But the strange thing is, if you look up who her father was, Rose Davis and Eve Davis, organizing a fundraiser for their father, Greg Davis. Greg
Senior
Davis
Vice President
is the Senior Vice President at Belgravia, Senior Account Executive. And there he is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he broke.
he doesn't particularly look too broke. He doesn't look like someone who couldn't just go somewhere and get himself a nice van.
That's
For
a fucking Jordan McAfee part 2.
Yeah, we very well could be seeing some John McAfee shit here. He's throwing up the 666 symbol here. Again, I won't go too much into that, but it is interesting that this guy looks like some sort of fucking mover and shaker. And
whoa!
Apparently is
no, down. Scroll down.
What's
What's on the wall? More roses and a Buddha statue.
Is that what that is? Oh yeah, Oh wait, okay, we got fish.
Oh no, that's
lotus.
fish. I thought it was roses.
And it could be something here. Could be something here. It looks like an odd picture, but the connection here that some people were just kind of going over again and again was just how odd this Rose girl was. This was stuff on her Instagram. Now this is kind of just an aside. That's kind of a weird
coal burning Rose.
Coal burning and satanic. So very obviously into the
Why couldn't she go missing?
Yeah, I know, right? Very obviously into the occult shit. Very obviously into sodomy, and something about her though. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that girl, but there's something about that chick's eyes. I just don't think I trust it. Now, this is Rose and Gabby here, and another thread asking, did Rose kill Gabby? Now, some people are thinking,
Rose killed Gabby.
coal burning whore fucking killed Gabby. Rest in peace, girl. So we've got other people speculating that this is some ritualistic sacrifice, some sort of with Rose's weird satanic connections here. You know, maybe it's just some macabre horseshit.
What did the Instagram post say?
This one right here.
Man. In my mind is violence. At night, I want to break shit, run through the streets with my Glock on my waist, bitch. Okay.
Classy. Very classy. So, another one. Okay, another thread. Friends get in here. Was Gabby Petito actually sacrificed by her best friend? Rose Davis called Gabby her BFF, lives in Sarasota, Florida, a half hour from Gabby and Brian's home in Northport, excuse me. Said she was planning to meet her in Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park. Rose. Wait, what?
Yeah, pick the closest place, right?
Wait, is that really the name of the park?
What is it?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park. There should be a comma there. I was confused. Rose had even asked her boss for days off for the trip. Rose even said she expected to lock in a specific date on August 29th, Rose's birthday, but Gabby never texted her back. Rose is clearly a druggie who has a staggering amount of narcissism. I almost feel bad for Gabby, as some are suggesting Brian and Rose actually had an affair. Now, this is getting into like Lifetime gossip, but I don't want.
I mean, she was crying on the fucking, well, kind of crying. She was doing a moaning thing in the police pulling her over video.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that there's nothing going on with this girl, because look at her fucking eyes, dude. Jesus Christ.
She got that Ashkenazi, no soul vibe.
Yeah, that's that 1,000-cock stare. That bitch freaks me out. I don't know why. That's like one of the only like white women I've ever seen that I'm like legitimately freaked out by. Yeah, untold amounts of narcissism is about right. So this is the fucking this is the fucking girl who. Oh, here we go. Someone's making connections to John Westbrook. That's spoilers on That's What Happened. You guys go watch that there. But we're just going through these threads, looking at what
were they claiming the connection to them was? Because that sounds like a stretch to me.
Oh, to the John Westbrook thing? I think this is just saying it's similar. I think this person is just saying this is a similar case, like we were talking about before. This is another case of like this could be someone who's just completely fabricated. Where I mean, just everything about the story just doesn't make any fucking sense. Mason shit. Checkered shirt with this fucking faggot over here. I mean, this girl just looks fucking trashy. No matter what, just Jesus.
Eek.
This is a fucking reptilian.
Well, she got her check mark, right? Or she was verified on Instagram or some shit.
I think so. Yeah. They were. Gabby was a Instagram influencer, so that's already suspicious enough. Oh, classy.
I don't miss them anymore.
I don't miss any of these people anymore, if they're even people. But this one, I don't know about this connection with Rose or anything. It's really interesting, and I think that there's certainly something here. Obviously, something here.
I'm glad they're gone.
Yeah, right. There's obviously something here with her, but I don't know exactly. And I think we were kind of getting on to some sort of something with the Cleon Peterson stuff. Let's get that the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you fucking soulless whore.
Speaking of whore, I'm scrolling for the 27-year-old whore meme. The trad wife as a whore. Let you know when I find it.
Oh yeah, this was another thing. So I'm just going through these, just making sure there's not anything I'm missing, because I opened up a bunch of these things just to kind of look through it so we could have something to kind of live investigate as we're going through. But this was another one that people were talking about, is that's suspicious about Rose, is that she keeps deleting posts off of her Instagram. People have
comes up as one thoughty bitch.
Yeah, definitely. These people keep saying that she's deleting her posts that have any sort of connection to Gabby. Rose has deleted several posts in the last 24 hours. One was a video that showed Gabby serving her when Rose went to Gabby's place of work on her birthday. Gabby was never her best friend. Gabby was her plaything, and brain laundry was probably her brainwashed project.
Gabby
so is this person saying
was
that Rose was the handler? Maybe Rose is the. I mean, it's not unheard of. Remember Paul Bonacci during the Franklin cover-up. Paul Bonacci was one of the kids that the like Larry King and shit would use as bait to go get other people, to go get other kids. Like he was 12 and he was in on it, because he was kidnapped and brought up in that and tortured and brainwashed to be a groomer himself, and he would go get like 8-year-old kids. He was 12. He would go get like an 8-year-old or something. Hey, so come along, you come with me, because it's going to look a little bit better than if some 50-year-old man is trying to pick up an 8-year-old.
Right. That's
not unheard of for someone to be in a similar age bracket. That's actually their handler. That's not. It's pretty common, actually, especially when we look at like musicians and shit. A lot of them are being handled by other members in their band who are, they're higher up in that shit. Like we go back to like 60s, like Laurel Canyon, The Doors, Grateful Dead, all that shit, quite a lot. But it's such a intrinsic like blueprint of what they would later use. Jim Morrison being basically an MK Ultra slave himself, similar to this, more than likely not the age that they said he was, probably a 40-year-old fucking man.
Just as Brian, just as basically apparently everyone around Gabby.
Yes, just like Sol Pai, who was very clearly like a 35-year-old woman and if she was a teenager, it's very clear that she's been through some fucking hell.
Right.
With this one, this could be another instance of that. This could be all over the place. I think people are maybe it's a little too schizo. That's what we're here for. But whenever I see someone saying, shut the fuck up and take your meds, take your fucking meds, I know we're on to something.
Something's going on. Hey, by the way, I found Rose. There it is.
That sounds about.
She's whoring, blames men, calls herself a strong woman. That's Rose. Looks just like her too. Well, what do you think it is?
I really don't
What do you-
know. Here's another thing that someone's posted. Case detail. This is
Holy
look
shit.
at this list of Rose getting arrested for drug charges.
Holy fuck. So she's
Look at all
in it.
these. Possession of
See it in the map.
LSD.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. Amphetamine, LSD, drug paraphernalia, unlisted drugs here, but there we go. We got ecstasy, methamphetamine, so Molly, LSD, acid, all that shit that's used for fucking mind control. Even if they weren't, if she's not actively doing it, they're all part of it. They're doing the same thing. Can you
Batman
pass that acid
programming.
shit? Batman programming, whatever the fuck.
The kids aren't okay, man. The kids aren't okay. The kids are fucking on Instagram showing their tits everywhere, fucking doing acid and ecstasy and fucking methamphetamines and going to fucking raves.
Look at this shit. One eye symbolism, more Mason checkered shit, fags everywhere. Get the fuck out of my face.
I hope it's nothing to do with the. Now I'm just at the point now of I hope this isn't even a false flag and all these kids are missing.
But that kind of goes. This person brings up a good point. That video we were watching at the beginning of them getting pulled over or arrested or whatever, where she's crying hysterically. I mean, that does seem kind of look like they're making the suggestion that she might be emotionally unstable, bipolar.
She is a woman.
Well, yeah, good point. But split fractured personalities and shit. So Monarch Butterfly. She also is apparently bipolar, attacked her boyfriend a lot. He seems to be an autist. Perhaps these two
literally split brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Going further, I mean, it's all over the place.
Oh, we're gonna have to get through a 5-second ad. 1 second. No free advertising here. Except for that's what happened on TV.
Oh yeah, all kinds of free advertisement there. Now,
there we go.
If this is, it's kind of like going between two of these. I mean, I hate to use the phrase, but like these two rabbit holes seem to be. I don't know. They're not necessarily contradictory, but they could overlap in a way that we're not seeing.
Well, do we think she's really stable, or do we think she's just fake crying and it's all a show?
Yeah. Do we think that this is just acting?
I have really bad OCD, and
or is she actually
straightening up back at the end before, and I was apologizing to him, saying, "I'm sorry that I'm so mean because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated."
Well, I know she forgot a vital part of her outfit today.
I guess my vibe is like I am like in a bad mood.
Still wearing the pyramid necklace.
I really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I hate to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay. Probably a vegan.
That's my job,
cool.
and I just quit my job.
Oh yeah. No, she was an outspoken vegan and Black Lives Matter.
So I've been
advocate.
building my website.
See, this is why I gave this story zero attention.
Exactly. This is gonna make me. I don't fucking give a shit.
Yeah, so the Rothschilds are gonna whack another glowy. Oh no.
And he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of
told me
your
I
OCD?
told me I needed to calm down. Yeah.
Oh, bitch, it looks like you need to calm down.
I'm calm all the time. And he
Yeah,
really
so
stresses
calm.
me out, and this is a rough morning.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car? You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you. You obviously don't have any weapons. I'm going to get you into the air conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Yeah, cash in on that white privilege, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you're not in any trouble.
Now let's see if we can see that tattoo of
Take a
his.
seat. Can I get your first name?
Yeah, it's Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, how do you spell that?
R-I-E-L-L-E.
And your last name?
Petito.
B-E-T?
P is in Peter.
Oh, P.
And E-T-I-T.
I see. Oh.
And then they really didn't want that part in there.
You guys both.
Oh yeah.
You guys both live in Florida.
Oh,
And there's
wrist check.
more. There's more. There's more of
You
that,
guys both
that
live in
symbolism
Florida, right?
too,
Or
all over the place with like the places that they were found and whatnot. Moonflower was, I think, the name of the diner where they were like a somebody
Their
called
last
and said
stop.
that she was, yeah, it was like their last stop, and someone called and said that she was like he hit her outside of the Moonflower Cafe or something. But it's like I don't trust that. We'll let that play for a second.
Pixar didn't happen.
What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff?
So I stepped out of line,
What was you were
officer.
attempting to accomplish by slapping?
I was trying to get him to stop telling me something.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him.
So she slapped the shit out of him because he told her to calm
It's
down.
100% your call.
Calm down, bitch.
I support you either way. I'll let you get back to your own parents, okay? Say that she openly admitted to me earlier that she was striking him in the eye. Or he said that she was striking him in the eye. He said she was, and that's what caused him to hit the curb. She said that she got hurt. I might have these two mixed up, probably.
No, she said that too, but she started distracting him by
Yeah.
hitting him, and then he probably looked at her, and that's why the mark found when he
Mhm.
and she said it was her fault because she was distracting him by hitting him.
All right, so she gave an admission that she smacked him while he was driving and made him hit a curb.
So assault is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. The code for bodily injury, the definition says...
There you go. One more time as they're given the description. So the BLM loving, Jew dating, split-brained person who draws monarchs everywhere slapped the shit out of her boyfriend and made him hit a curb.
AKA handler.
I feel so bad.
He wasn't listening to her.
It's a gayest gay
assault
out.
is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. The code for bodily injury, the definition says, bodily injury is infliction of pain or physical impairment or illness. So you can go. Now I'm recording, and society and the judges and everyone can judge me for this. I am looking at a 110-pound female and her fiance who have no means to be separated. He doesn't want to pursue it. She's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault and do the whole thing. This is your opportunity to make the decision. Let's.
Oh, more ads.
Condoms, Charlie.
See, this is
Wants to know if
already
you bought
its
any
own
condoms.
thing. What the fuck kind of goddamn advertisement is this shit? Degeneracy. But putting advertisements on this fucking thing is already like kind of suspicious enough. Maybe I'm just being paranoid.
Remember, we still mute parts of this too, which doesn't help. But they basically said, like, she's a scrawny bitch who's out of her mind and slapped the shit out of him. But also, he could basically, they said she's 110 pounds or whatever, which basically means, hey, if it happens again, he can take her. Like,
He's. I mean, the just the fact that they would let that go seems to me like, whoa, that's a little.
opposed to charging her,
Yeah, as opposed to charging, but also
it would be equality.
charging, but also being like, I don't know if we just let them go or whatever. I don't know how that shit works. But
I think
there's
he's
lots
explaining that now.
Oh, okay, but of course they've got it fucking muted, so you can't hear anything.
Go ahead.
They're a long way from home.
Mm-hmm.
You got this?
I'm making this decision. I'm going to side him. I'm going to go all your the first.
Would you feel more comfortable handling that guy?
Yeah.
Go handle that guy.
Go handle that guy. Okay.
If you're more comfortable.
Well, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
I'm guessing this guy's a new fag.
I mean, it's a headache whether I go left or it's a headache whether I go
Look,
right.
another option is to not charge them but separate them for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separated them. You provided for his safety. If he doesn't have enough sense to stay away and you got him separated, it's on him.
Based. Hey, if he goes back to the crazy pussy, that's on him. But at least he tried to save him for the night.
If they don't let it go off and we hear about it, we'll hear about it.
They're camping in the park tonight. We'll let you know.
And if there's some fighting going on, you already was Mr. Nice Guy. You already gave him a chance. What you can't do by law is separate someone and say, if we hear from you again, we're going to arrest them. Because then if one of them really needs help, they may not call police and you get help. The law says you cannot, literally, you may not say, we get more problems with you guys tonight. One of you is going to, you can't threaten them like that. Right. It's true because it stops you from wanting to call the police to get help. Does that make sense?
Right.
So,
Hey,
go
at least this guy knows the law.
or nothing, or in between and separate them and kind of give them the nod, the wink, like, hey, just stay separated. It's up to you. I'm going to go handle that. You got very capable help with you here, and I trust you.
When they keep saying him, which makes me wonder why would they give him anything? Or maybe I'm missing something.
So
We did only listen like 10 minutes
some
of it.
things from you. Do you mind if I get a picture of your driver's license?
Yeah. I was thinking it was in parts like that. This is me.
Uh-oh.
I know this man has hair.
And you said that this is still your mailing address, right? This is the right way. Alright, and then Brian, what did you call number?
Thank you guys for helping us. Oh yeah, no problem. Have a good day.
Wait, so they're in the van that's supposed to be her father's van, or someone's father's van. Rose's
It's the
father's
same.
van or
It was
Gabby's
the
father's
same.
father?
It was the same van that was supposedly put fundraised by Rose's GoFundMe for her dad's stage 4 cancer. That
For Rose's dad.
that he for some reason can't afford, despite being the CEO of a startup or what was it? I think it said it was a risk assessment company.
Okay, do you have any problems with me?
It should just be in. It should just be in like Zion.
Okay, do you have any problems with me taking a picture of it? I have to have IDs and stuff like that for my investigation. Here. So, this is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay? It was only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However, the domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes life a major pain in the butt, especially at you're 22, right? So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with it. All right? But this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, cry, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay? I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So, you're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other. For both of you guys' sanity. from what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on broke tonight. Does that sound about right? So I just want everybody to breathe, get a chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you got to do.
In here?
Just totally sorry.
Oh, phone number's doxed. Shit.
So, like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hold on.
Have a home buying goal?
No, no
Alright.
mortgages, no Jews. Okay. So
Now, wait a minute. I just wanted to, if it's not too much trouble, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to it. We can share my screen just because I wanted to look at the visual. Go to, yeah, here we go. I know I had it up here. Fucking somewhere because I wanted to go back to 55.
apparently the cop got him a hotel room that night.
Yeah. And okay, so I wanted to go back to this spot here where we can see the back of the van. We got a monarch butterfly sticker, so there's a butterfly sticker again on the van. And I mean, this is schizophrenia. This is schizophrenia academia. So we're going deep in this shit. Cop right here, the one who separated them, the one who told Gabby to not talk to anybody for 48 hours or whatever it was, or 24 hours or whatever it was, he said. Let's see if we can get him actually.
I think that's the part where he's like, I got the fucking.
There's his hand. That's the cop speaking here. 666 tattoo. It's a fucking thelema tattoo specifically. They're showing that this is who's putting this on is the Ordo Templi Orientis, basically. We got a close-up of the stickers on the back of the van. More Zion shit. There's fucking Molech right there.
Casual Moloch.
Casual Molech.
See,
just like it's nothing. We got another one. We got another one. Not only do we have this schnoz right here, Saville.
Nose check.
Jimmy Savile. More shit. More of this shit. Oh yeah, we gotta get all that Chloe Peterson guy.
So it appears to me that of the people who know what's going on, you got the fucking police dude who's just like doing his job and can.
There it is.
Basically, whatever he does is just going to be following the script anyway. He might have known what's going on. He might have not. He might have just kind of gone along with the cues as he sees them, as one guy gives them or not. But to me, it feels like her boyfriend knows what's going on. Maybe. Rose probably definitely knows what's going on. But Gabby probably has no idea what the fuck's going on.
That's a good guess. That, you know, that hysterical crying almost makes it seem like she could be like the MK Ultra victim here, and her alters are fucking up, and the police or whatever this is. I mean, this is clearly a fucking this is as asshole cop as a Satanist, and they're all in on it. But it could be them literally showing off. This is what we do to our victims when they're stepping out of line.
They could be all in on it, but
could be. Yeah.
Do you think they all know what's going on with Gabby as she's going through the state?
It's a good guess.
It's hard to tell.
Or it's a good question. Excuse me. See, so like, there's Rose's dad, looking very poor, and
Miami Vice,
fucking Miami Vice, fucking Don Johnson over here. Actually, I kind of like that suit. Oh yeah,
seems like a fun guy.
This was another picture posted by Rose. Gabby with the archangel wings. Gabrielle,
Change the world.
Gabriella,
That's some false flag
Gabriel.
shit.
Changed the world. Yeah, that's a big one too. Oh yeah, and
Hasn't done anything yet.
here's that little sailboat I was talking about. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I didn't realize how fucking huge that was. Look at the little dude.
Big ass boat, dude.
And I also didn't realize, someone pointed out in the thread we were just reading, that this was the same yacht that Greta was traveling around on. Greta Thunberg was traveling around on during her climate change bullshit. So she's being propped up by these same people. Yeah. So these are all, and we know that Greta, her parents, Berg, God damn, she's fucking crazy looking. Her parents are actors. Her parents are
one's an opera singer, the other one.
Yeah, there you go. One's an opera singer, and they are. I'm pretty sure you can find shit of them just being straight up goddamn satanic. I'm pretty sure you can find stuff of it. I don't have those pictures on me at the moment, but I know for sure that you can find shit of her being. It just clearly looks like they were propped up for this from the very beginning, and all these people are connected. It never fails whenever we talk about shit like this, that they always end up being connected with everybody. Like all these things we can always, like with the stuff we were talking about last time with the John Westbrook shit, we connected that from just a mild mannered, like confusing story, then to cryptocurrency, the World Economic Forum, and the deciphering of ancient occult writings and grimoires that are written in dead languages that an AI has to fucking decipher for them. But these fuckers, all of them, we know that these fuckers are satanic. We know that they are. We know that people doing this shit are in the arts and are, just marinating in this, in the liberal arts, climate change, social justice crap, the same shit that this poor Gabby girl is caught up in, with the same shit that this Cleon Peterson guy is pushing. If that's the person that they're is this the person that they're talking to? Is this who they're trying to tell them to, shut the fuck up? Is this some sort of satanic ritual for him? We really don't know.
You're going to turn it into something for the people?
Yeah.
Like I said, man, right off the bat, it's like, I saw everyone paying attention to it. I'm like, imagine paying attention to this shit in 2021. How much of a faggot do you have to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like all the shit that these fucking gay ass characters who are around, like this Gabby person, like no one should give two shits about him anyway. But this is the product of what happened to Gabby. Like this is how she's, if that's even her name, this bitch, that's what her name is.
This fucking bitch.
This hysterical.
This matzah burner.
Okay. So something that I do that
I don't give two shits, and neither should you.
You or not. Don't text each other tonight. He went fast on the same message you passed to him. He's really looking forward to talking to you again. But I told him and you, unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can talk tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. I'm going to get you a home. Alrighty? So here's that. I'm giving him a ride over to the hotel, okay? So everything's going to be okay.
Will it be a far drive for me to get him in the morning? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you where he's going to be at tonight.
I know.
Like I said, I want you guys to be separated. But I can tell you this.
I just don't usually drive the van, so I just want to make sure it's not like far away.
No. It's
okay.
It's basically from here to Moonflower.
Okay.
This bitch is gonna go to every fucking hotel that night.
Let's get you in the van. Let's get you on your way. Alrighty. You want that Gatorade, by the way?
Okay.
You got
Then
enough
she
water?
says something to her over by the van.
No? Here, stand over here real fast for me.
Get in
If
frame.
you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. They're pretty cheap. A place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit. Alrighty.
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday.
Ew.
So it does my wife. Go take a shower. Relax,
Now we know she doesn't shower.
Take some time to take care of here with your morning routine. Okay.
I mean, this dude, as far as a Jew goes, he kind of seems like a boy. So I mean, if any, I don't want to feel bad for him, but like, if there's anyone to feel bad for, it seems like it's him.
Oh man, I think if anything, he's probably one of the ones perpetrating this shit. I mean, I feel like he's the one that they're protecting. The one that they're blaming is that they're like, oh yeah, he's the one who totally killed him. But it's like, okay, well, where the fuck is he? Why can't you fucking find him? Why is every turn that you've taken basically seems to be like directly in opposition of what you guys should be trying to do, like searching for him in a place that you know he's probably not even there. If his parents said that he was in fucking the natural
Gonna
forest
pop up in Miami with a new nose.
Yeah, exactly. So and the whole Star Wars thing in his room, that just seems to me like it's just controlled, and he's someone who's either playing along, they're using his likeness or something like that. This is one of the
Maybe he's the Batman. Maybe he got the vigilante justice on the crazy bitch.
Maybe that's why he's on the run. That could be why he's on.
I mean, if you think about it, yeah, he's just the fucking vigilante hitman, and like, it's not like anyone wanted Gabby around anyway. Like, we know he's a Jew and all that, but she was already tainted. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and okay. This is basically saying that Rose didn't actually know her or anything like that, or if they did, it was very casual acquaintance. So this is still the thread about Rose specifically, but I think the more interesting stuff might be where this is getting into, like we were talking about, don't gab, don't talk. These are threats aimed at someone, possibly Cleo or Cleon. I keep want to call him Cleo. Cleon Peterson. It could be something to do with talking to him. Maybe he knew something with the Greta thing. If he's got connections to them. If we're not seeing anything connected to that. This person here I keep seeing all over the place is an interesting point though that I'm not 100% sure on, because this guy is what was his fucking name? Lytle or something like that. He's got the Cleon's paintings behind him, and this guy was one of the people that was heavily involved in that GameStop shortage, that hedge fund shortage. That was a big stock market deal back in, I guess,
Wall Street bets.
Yeah, and he was one of the people that was heavily involved with all that, and there he is with that same fucking shit. I believe it was supposed to be
Wall Street side.
Yeah, I think he was on Wall Street side. Let's see. If you type in that, Andrew left bearish GME Citron. Okay, so this is more. Citron's Andrew Leff says his firm covered most of its GameStop shorts at 100% loss and tells Reddit traders to pay taxes on their recent profits. Maybe something connected to the credit shit that we were talking about. It's just interesting. This connection's kind of going back and forth with, we had the Fight Club thing about demolishing or abolishing credit by blowing the shit the fuck up with false flags. Star Wars. Is that connected in any way to any of this?
The Watchmen.
The Watchmen thing. speculation. Oh, this was something I should have mentioned earlier too. Gabby Petito linked remains. Former New York Chief Medical Examiner Michael Baden on Tuesday said FBI and law enforcement engagements.
Fucking Baden.
Michael Baden was the medical examiner. He is like a
George
celebrity medical
Floyd.
examiner for
Justin
Epstein.
Epstein.
He was Epstein. He did, let's see, what was it? JFK, MLK, Philip Lecter. They all share the same medical examiner. And I bet this person left out John Benet Ramsey too. I bet he was that same thing. And the Casey Anthony story too. That Casey Anthony story was really, really popular, and that shared all the same fucking people, same medical examiners, same lawyers. West Memphis 3 had the same medical examiner as well.
I can't believe this fucking story is getting any goddamn traction.
Exactly, but I think a lot of people, really the main people I saw talking about it were like shills. They were obvious shills and bot posts. I kept seeing the same thing posted over and over and over again, and then the only thing is kind of deciphering between all of that shit of who.
There it is.
I'm just gonna leave that up there. When getting down to all this shit, kind of deciphering through all of the garbage that they're promoting with the story, where it's about evil white man abusing his wife or something, or just some crazy person who we need to keep an eye out for these evil women beaters. It's just a story that they're creating for people to watch, and the symbolism is for people who know what this shit means. Trying to figure out what the hell it means without being the intended target is I mean, I don't want to say that's like half the fun or anything, but this shit's it's like you rack your brain trying to figure out what exactly all this shit means.
Yeah. If you had to take your guess, like you said, these stories, even their myths, there's what there is for the public to understand, and what there are for lower initiates to understand, and what there is for everyone else to understand. What's your guess about what this one is?
It seems like if I had to make some sort of ridiculous guess on what
the
all
guitar
of
in that
this
one or something.
Yeah. Fucking asshole.
That's funny.
If I had to make some sort of guess, I think it might be more connected to that Sol Pai story that we've gone back to a few times, and that picture
Impending
right there,
false flag.
Yeah, impending false flag, basically. And we've got I don't know if we mentioned before, but again, reported missing on 9/11, found 9 days later, autopsy conducted on the 11th day after. When her body was found, I believe we're getting into that. It's the harvest moon or whatever mentioned earlier. We're going into the retrograde. All of these things kind of Mercury retrograde kind of all culminating together in something that seems like this is they're gearing up for something like possibly cosmic, which is what the Sol Pai story was about. Remember I mentioned that it was the church Sun Sulpice is the name of the church that was burned, that shares the namesake with Sol Pai, spelled the same. That church is not just some random church either. It's a very significant Catholic church that's used as they have what's called a nomen there, or a nomen. It's essentially a giant obelisk, but they use it as a sundial, and they use it to tell the correct astrological time of Easter and those important holidays that don't fall on a specific day every year. Like, it's basically how they calculate their actual calendar. That wasn't just some random shit. That was connected to something much grander, much more cosmic that they were using to push a false flag. I think even the Sol Pai thing Yeah, and I think the Solpai thing very well could have been a heads up that this kind of shit was happening. I mean, I didn't break it down knowing or thinking that there was going to be like some sort of virus or some shit like that they're going to claim is trying to murder everybody, and they're going to use that for more government control. But there could have been something in there. I mean, that whole story that was connected to was about a messianic figure coming to save a dystopian race, if you want to think that, or that it's about a the opposite, like the Jewish kind of viewpoint of it, is that it's not your savior, like that's the Antichrist or something. That video that it kind of predicted it or whatever is something that went around for a really long time on I remember even Alex Jones talking about it years ago. This video, the I Pet Goat 2, which is a very bizarre video. And the sound on it is minimal. There's no dialogue. The visuals are really, so I'll just let that go. But this was something that other people were pointing out in regards to that picture. This picture here was something found in this video, which features all kinds of weird imagery, weird references to conspiracy-minded, iconography. George Bush in the classroom, while
playing Hangman in the background.
Molech, Owl in the background, Dick.
You have
on the morning of 9/11, here in the school.
You have the map on Manhattan pinned.
There you go. Split Mind,
Evolution, House on Fire.
Oh yeah, the burning of a building. It looks like a church too. Barack Obama, and that right there. That's what people have been saying is similar to. I think I might have just closed it.
It's not in like Elsa or anything like that. She's wearing a black shirt there.
Yeah. People have made.
What was that supposed to mean?
Black and white. Yeah. It's just enough for people to be like that's what other people are making these connections to, because it went all over the place.
Isn't that exactly what you shouldn't be doing though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't want these things to happen, whatever it is. So maybe don't feed the fucking story.
That's how they. I mean, that's how they get away with this shit, right? With it being.
And there's a flower.
Mm-hmm. And people have been trying to figure out exactly what the hell this video means for like a really long time. It was uploaded. I think it was uploaded even before 2013. But all of this is just, and I go into this a lot more in my Notre Dame video, where we kind of break down exactly what these symbols are. Two towers collapsing right there should be pretty obvious, but what significance it has to all the stuff that we've been seeing going on in the last few years seems to be like, everybody's speculating on it one way or the other. And the person who made this video is even more suspicious. There's another thing I go into in the Notre Dame video is that this the director of this only has like 2 other credits on his entire like IMDb. I believe it was the I think it was like the Matrix was one of them. So there's your already conspiracy theory shit. But the only other thing he worked on was an effects supervisor of the Lord of the Rings, the 2 Towers, specifically the 2 Towers, none of the other ones. That's the only other thing listed on his thing, and you can't find any interview of the guy. There was one interview of him on InfoWars, on Alex Jones's show, and that's it. Nothing else about him anywhere. But and all of this 9/11 symbolism, and he happens to work on the two towers, and it's just like, okay, come on.
Went from bats to death. You haven't seen this before, but it's weird.
Very weird. And this was what we covered on the Notre Dame video, and kind of what it at least what it meant on as far as the Notre Dame shit went, and basically saying, hey, this something here is they're saying something here. There's something is being communicated with these fuckers, and trying to find the director of this, the creator of it, trying to find his yeah, that's it. That was it. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and I Pet Goat 2 are the only things on his full resume. So does this
You
have
got
anything
Christ
to
and
do
Hades.
with? Does this have anything to do with the Gabby Petito case? Does it have anything to do with? Oh God, grandma titties. How is this allowed on YouTube, but my shit's not? There, she's bleeding.
Because it's claymation. Or it's not claymation, it's animation. It's all some Wallace and Gromit shit. Yeah, this is odd.
Very. And there's no, there's sound. It's just a musical composition. I don't think there's any even like sound effects of anything happening.
Well, the thing is if it came out in 2013 and they showed a bunch of things that happened over 10 years ago, there's no guarantee that these things happen in the future. Because then they could just be like, hey, this is what we want.
Yeah,
so then it's fair game, because then it's then it's not a real synchronicity. Then it's just man-made shit.
And this was the big one for the Notre Dame thing. Behind him, that cathedral looks very much like the Notre Dame Cathedral, and as it collapses, it collapsed the exact same way, with the steeple falling first like that. It felt like if you put them side by side, they look identical to how they fell. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, a building can only fall a certain way because of physics or whatever. It's just, when you see them side by side, it's like, come on, that was so intentional. That couldn't have just been a mistake, camera angle and all.
Right.
But that pretty much is the end of it, as Jesus goes sailing away off towards these pyramids that are collapsing in the distance. What all this shit means is up for anybody's guess, but this went around heavily during the Notre Dame cathedral burning and the Sulpai thing, and now this with just the visual of the blonde girl holding the apple or whatever the hell it is. So I'll just get rid of that. So I guess in summary, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
We just have a whole lot of speculation.
Well, I think it could be communication to Painting Man, who's just like, hey man, don't snitch.
Yeah.
But also, I think most importantly, first and foremost, regardless of whatever fucking billionaire Jew's talking to another one, or painter, or whatever woo-woo occultist, or someone who didn't play enough sports or had friends growing up, the overall message is just the same, which is don't stick your dick in crazy and stay away from crazy chicks, regardless of what fucking color they are.
Pretty much. I think we can all agree on that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, everyone's like, the whole world is paying attention to Gabby, and the bots are doing Gabby, and I'm like, who gives a shit about Gabby? If the media's telling you to pay attention to it, you already fucking lost. But anyway,
And
this was a more fun take on it.
That's why we're trying to figure it out. And the only reason why we started looking into this was because I kept seeing it shilled so constantly. Normally, I mean, it's pretty obvious to tell when something's there's a purposeful shilling behind something.
Look what you made us do.
You made us not even care about some pretty blonde white girl going missing. I don't even give a shit no more. You made us that apathetic.
Hey, I mean, if a pretty blonde white girl went missing, would give a fuck. But if a blonde, internet slew who's dating a Jew, should be a rapper. Just kidding. It goes missing, and the whole media's like, pay attention to this. I don't care if there's. Fuck you.
Fuck you, man. Don't try to tug on my heartstrings.
That's what I mean. I got a normal blonde white girl to go find my damn self. Fuck you and your Gabby whore. That's how it should be. Like, jokes on them, we don't care.
That's kind of where it boils down to, unfortunately. Like, well, they've made it so confusing that we just don't care anymore. And that's what they want, though. They want us to not be able to just throw your arms up in the air and be like, I can't figure this fucking shit out.
We figured it out, and we know what to care about, and that's just. I like that. The best part about it is a picture of her playing the guitar came out. Photoshop playing the guitar. Bring that up. I like that one. That is the one good thing that came out of it.
We can find that again. Oh, we got a picture of her being I think that's Rose being art hose at some fucking festival, Lollapalooza or some shit.
I'm saying. We've been gay-opped. But speaking of the Notre Dame thing, if you guys want to see a tremendous documentary on the Notre Dame, honestly, I think that one's the most. I love the Knights of Zion one for the storytelling, but I feel like this one was the most fun to get through. I feel like this was one of the best done ones that you did. Was the about the Notre Dame fire, which you can find in its entirety on That's What Happened. .tv. You can see the full documentary there. Great work by Hab. We're looking forward to the new ones that you put out there. Again, the message about Gabby, shut the fuck up and shut the fuck up. And there's Gabby playing us out for tonight. You got you can see in her face she's very passionate about her work. It's taken up her heart and soul. And she'll be playing the guitar in fucking, I don't know, Illuminati or heaven. Once again, just stay away from handlers. Don't talk to weird people with weird tattoos. Find some normal friends and get married and shit like that. Like, what the fuck?
Good shit.
Any outro? Any wise words from you, Hab?
Not a damn thing. Just play us the fuck out, Gabby. You God rest your soul if you were real. Give you some Saxon to rock out to.
And if you weren't, you're a crazy bitch. You clawed out her girlfriend who got MK Ultra. Do I feel bad for you? I don't know. But if I had to be with Gabby for a little bit of time and her split brain, it sounds like I would need to go to a place where everyone knew my name so I could have a drink. And that's where we want to see you guys. And this place is one of those places too, until the next episode, where you can find us here on Dlive and That's What Happened.tv, a Schitzophrenia Academia.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. It was a wild one. Live investigation.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.